WDD, I started a little bit with myself. So before I even got WDD and everything, I grew up in Alltel Arena. I grew up in the housing projects at East Gate Tiers. If you ever been in Alltel Arena, go down 30, start to go over 40, before you get to the big churches. As you go around that curve, it's a housing project over there. They just renovated the entire project. So I lived there, grew up there, stayed in what we call the Dark Hollow area, which is from JFK to the river, for 29 years. So, of course, there's, for low poverty area, I always kind of been that way. So, don't know if it's an inspiration to anybody or stuff like that, but you can always change where you're at if you stay focused and don't try to make that quick buck, because one thing I have learned is that money will eventually come. Love what you're doing, do it every day. And some people will say you can do it. If you do something that you love and you didn't have to get paid for it, if you love doing it, that's the job for you. So eventually the money will come. But from there, went to school at North Rock High. North Rock High was when I went to school there. Then I went to school at Wittenberg Tech. Wittenberg Tech decided they were not going to keep their architecture program, so I took off and they said Fayetteville was the best school in the South as far as architecture at the time. So I said, well, I'm going to go with the best that and see if I can graduate from there. Ended up graduating from there, sent out resumes to everywhere in Oklahoma, from Arkansas to Dallas, Arkansas, and over to Memphis. And the first person that contacted me, which was in North Carolina, I came back home because I wanted the experience. Had a lot of classmates that were waiting for their right job, and their right job never came. Or they waited. By the time the job did come, they were like, what have you been doing since graduation? I just kind of took off, took the first thing that came to me, and that's what ended me up back here. Been here since first term that I worked for. Had a contract with the guy. I worked for him for about 6 months, and worked for him for about 2 months, and he said he was gonna retire. He said, you come in for the next 4 months and read what you want to, what I have in the library, educate yourself. And I was like, nah, that's okay. Second job, I was with the first Black architect in Arkansas. Ended up being the largest Black architecture firm. Worked with him for 13 years. Economic downturn hit. I took off, ended up with WDD. Been here for 15 years. Made it as high as just below a partner. So next thing for me is to try to make partners within the next 2 or 3 years. So as you can see, I'm 52 years old, so I'm still setting goals. Still trying to do it. But in my line of work, I've had the pleasure of being a project manager. There's different project managers in architecture, construction. You'll see that term a lot. But for me, as a project manager, and you guys in construction, you will be from that project from the beginning to the end. That's from the concept of the project. So whatever it is, I've worked with Ball and Shell on plenty of projects. Some of the latest projects, the latest project has been Little Rock Police Department. Worked with them on that. We've done the entire Mills campus together. They've done buildings for us in Northwest Arkansas, as far as schools and things like that. You'll see the name Ball and Shell, you'll see it everywhere. I've actually done house designs for Michael Hansberry, who works at Ball and Shell. He's an African American. He's just been promoted. I forgot what his promotion was, but we kind of grown up together and come up through the ranks of each one of our companies. So you will be there from the concept that we're building a school. The school is 170,000 square feet. This is the addition to a school, this is the renovation to a school. We're renovating or we're replacing the HVAC, and then we do plumbing. You're there from the beginning. You're introduced as a team to the owner. You're introduced to the architects. One of your jobs as a project manager in construction, you're going to help us with the design. You're going to tell us, hey, I designed 170,000 square feet. The budget is 42 million. You're going to tell me if I'm under budget, over budget, or if I'm within budget. A lot of times you're going to tell me I'm on budget, and I'm going to have to cut some square footage out, because in construction, the biggest way you can get the price down to be within budget is to take out square footage. A lot of people will tell you you can change it from brick to metal, but you can. But I'm gonna use your body. You have skin, everybody has skin. You need skin. So you gotta have something to cover. Now, so if I take this jacket, this is my brick. So I gotta have brick to cover me up. Well, if I take this off and I put on a coat, still gotta have something to cover me up. Now my jacket costs less than my coat. So I'm not priced down, but I still have to have something to cover. So you still have to have something to cover the building. You're just knocking the price down a little bit. You still gotta have that material to cover. The biggest way to do that is to take out square footage. Well, you've done that with the owner. Showing the owner a plan, sold off on it, he's coming up with his money. So he really doesn't want to see square footage disappear from the building. And once you start talking to the owner and the users of it, they don't want that square footage to come out either. So one of the things you're going to do with the project manager, try to figure out the complexities that come with the project. Another thing that you guys will do is that you're going to form a team, and that team could be subcontractors. Those subcontractors are going to be mechanical, plumbing, electrical, because when we finish the building, it's going to go out to bids, and they're going to want to know who your contractors, who your subcontractors. And the reason they want to know that is because we want to vet it. We don't want just somebody coming off the street saying, I can build this building. We want to know that you have experience building buildings this size. Who are your team? Has your team been in court? Are they in court presently? So it's things like that that we need to know that you guys actually vet all that before we ever see it.